Hello, Alosha here. Thank you so much. I have received loads and loads of great comments and questions from our subscribers. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. The most common question I have received is it even possible to get off the grid in a suburbia, and where does one start? I don't believe getting off the grid is slap some panels on your roof solution. It's definitely not. It has to encompass a full spectrum of life and primary our needs of survival, such as food, shelter, water, waste, air, energy. So we have to cover all those aspects. So let's start with electricity. Electricity or energy, the last thing you do is actually put solar panels on your roof. I'd say to start off, what we did is we bought a gas stove and gas oven. Really good quality. It was a fan, so it doesn't compromise your baking. But that alone is saving us mega kilowatts per day in energy resource. And should the power go down, we can still continue cooking inside our kitchen with comfort of gas. It is much more reliable. It is way cheaper. Yeah, and obviously you could cook a biogas digester from your sewage one day when you have that in place back to your gas oven to provide cooking from methane. The next thing that we have done was to convert all our light bulbs to LED light bulbs or whatever energy efficient light bulbs you have. We chose the warm white because that cold white LED is quite harsh. Yeah, so all the light bulbs in the house are literally 3-4 watt maximum, where before there used to be 60-100 watt light bulbs. So that's where technology has really benefited us with using 10 to 15 times less energy to get the same light. That wasn't possible 10 years ago. The next thing is, of course, the solar geyser. Got abundant sun, we're in Africa. So by installing a geyser with a gas backup, possibly for winter time, is highly recommended. I've just tested it actually 3 days ago. I switched off the geyser element for the first time. Well, the second time. The last time I did it, I got whipped by my wife because the water got cold in winter, or lukewarm, and it wasn't nice, obviously. But now in summer, it is lovely. The water is so hot, and we have abundant of warm water and hot water throughout the day and evening time. I've got a bit of foam insulation for the copper pipes, which I'll be installing in the nearby future, those black little insulations. So all these little things add up to your energy bill, or lessening the energy bill. The next thing for us would be the heating in winter. So the thinking is to install a bit of a greenhouse on the northern face of our house, which will warm up that northern wall, possibly even thicken it, and have skylights in the right places so in summer the air can escape, the hot air can escape from this greenhouse, and in winter it can warm up this wall that can solar heat the home inside. See, none of the homes were really designed with solar passive heating or cooling in mind. However, this is one of the best strategies, and I will be sharing more of the greenhouse when I get to that part of my life. And of course, for us it would be a fireplace, changing over to a fireplace we have abundant of wood that you can find anywhere in the city. So to change to a fireplace, we would stop using possibly 6-7 electrical heaters in winter, which is running at 10 kVA per hour. So any solar company that's coming to you and asking you to give them your energy or electricity bill is actually talking nonsense and is going to rip you off heavily. What they do is they say, okay, right, you're consuming 20 kilowatts per day, we're going to give you a 400,000 Rand system, and off you go. You cannot do that. You cannot do that because our neighbor has installed a 300,000 Rand system, and his generator keeps on running every second to third night, topping up those batteries. Whilst we, staying in Neisen on a farm, used to, when we stayed in Neisen on a farm, we ran with 4 batteries, a little solar fridge, camping fridge, a few LED lights. You know, you could get a little solar system for 50,000 Rand that could accommodate a smaller camping fridge and a few, as I said, LED light bulbs take very little, a laptop, and yeah, we had a juicer, 1.5 kilowatt juicer that you switch on when you need it, but you cannot run it all at once. You cannot run a pool pump and a fridge and an electrical heater and whatever else you want to run at the same time, because that is going to cost you quite close to 500,000 Rand. So bearing that in mind, I'm able to get our home off the grid for electricity for about 100,000. We do have a pool pump that keeps on running and circulating this natural water, which is essential for us. Yeah, I'd like to cover now waste. Waste, we're getting billed about 200 Rand, 250 Rand per month to get rid of it. So I am busy challenging the authorities to stop billing me for that, because we do recycle all of our paper, glass, metal, etc., and of course all the compost, all the kitchen waste, everything from the plates, everything edible, and even some paper are thrown into the compost pile, and we're making our own compost that will grow our food, which also saves thousands of Rands on health and organic food. You cannot grow organic food without compost, no matter what anybody tells you. You know, that is the real soil enrichment mechanism, and healthy soil, healthy plants, healthy people. That's the strategy in permaculture and general organic farming out there. Come with me, I'd like to show you the water system. So the water system is pretty simple. I've designed this 1.2 square meter wetland, which I will be showing you soon how to build. And yeah, with water, you have to separate the sewage with grey water. That's the first thing you do. That's where you start. You separate the two, because sewage is a whole another kettle of fish, and it's got a lot of pathogens and E. coli and whatever else. The grey water has just got a bit of dead skin and some mild soap. So the sewage is the thick 12 centimeter pipe, and the grey water is 50 ml pipe. So you can see behind me, and I have shown in previous videos how I have separated the two, and grey water is literally running into this wetland, which this is the system. So the plants are cleaning the water abundantly, and this is the system, and then it overflows into a tank from which a pump irrigates on sprinkler my entire vegetable garden. So because trying to get off the water grid, I cannot possibly fathom to irrigate the entire garden. So we're looking at things that don't need to be irrigated, or so passively designed so they can, like my kitchen water goes into the swale. But the most important thing is start taking the grey water. There's a variety of fittings you can get from a plumber's shop, which can take from 50 ml PVC hard pipe to a black pipe, a flexible that you can, you know, put it to a tree or fruit tree. Your fruit trees will love it. They will use up the nutrients and the soaps, even typical soaps. Doesn't have to be anything organic. They'll use it and they'll grow abundantly and give you plenty of awesome organic fruit, believe it or not. However, do communicate to anyone who's cleaning the bath not to use harsh chemicals such as jig, and bleachers. Yeah, I mean, sunlight and all of that is fine, but just to talk about really harsh chemicals, the drain cleaners, it's a no-go for this type of system. It's no-go for the trees. But however, anything else is most welcome. And as I said, in the future I'll be showing you how to build a little wetland like this. Now this wetland, there's no edible plants here, and they are cleaning, they're taking out the soaps, so the water that I use after this wetland has got not much soap in it left, and that is fine for my organic vegetable garden. You cannot really irrigate straight from the bath your organic garden, because the soap eventually and the salts will build up in the soil, and it'll just cause a bit of problems. So a preliminary wetland like this cost me under 1,500 rand, and it's real beauty. And I mean, it's just abundance. I've got the plants are doubling in size and quantity, so I can start pulling from here and sharing with friends and putting to my other wetlands. So this is really grey water is magic. Well, basically all your water that you use except for the toilet, which is maybe 80 liters, so we're talking about 300 to 600 liters a day is grey water, and that all of it can be used on your garden. So that means that you could possibly halve or even take away 60% of your water bill by just designing a system that separates the sewage from grey water. Right now I'd like to show you a little siphon pump that I've imported for a bit of buy. There's a bit of hassles, but without any plumbing I'm able to take the water off from a low level bath. Even in a rental property you could do that, and you can suck it out and the water will start pouring out to anywhere you want it to, as long as it's down. Okay, so here we go. There's a siphon pump, so I'm able to get it going quite easily. There we go. As soon as it starts going, I can unplug the water. As I said, it's no fireworks, but the bottom line is that it will drain your bath out. It works on a whole siphon that this point is lower than the bath. And slowly but surely, in about 10 minutes, it will drain the entire 200 liters. And you can obviously take this water anywhere you want. You could take it to a low-lying wetland that I've submersed into ground, or you could dig a trench and take it into your garden, as long as it's waterproofed. Or you could just extend this with a hose pipe and run it anywhere else. So I would say the path to abundance and getting off the grid doesn't have to start with a 300,000 system. It can be little bits and pieces that you're doing. If you're making your own compost using kitchen waste, you are saving, you know, 1 million to 2 million on hospital bills, and you are saving probably 5,000 rand a year on compost. If you're doing this type of water that I've just shown you, you are saving 60 to 70% of your water bill a month. If you are having a gas stove, when electricity goes out, you can still cook, and you can grow your system bit by bit. It doesn't have to be a big bang, flick a switch and one solution to fit it all. So in the next video I will be sharing with you the pool conversion that I have done and my plan on getting the home off the grid. So scroll below and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, and also I'd love to know how much space do you have in your garden to get yourself off the water grid. How many square meters? Would you prefer an underground tank? How do you feel about those plastic tanks that have a lifespan of 5 to 10 years? How much time, how much energy or time do you have? But most importantly, I want to know how much space in the garden can you sacrifice for getting your home off the water grid, or at least have a backup, so when the water cuts you have 20,000 liters, 2 months supply to go for you. I look forward to your comments. Scroll below and leave them there. Namaste.